6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madhavala and read by Lavani Vijayatunga. First, we take a look at the headlines. The 74th Independence Day celebrations will be held on the 4th of next month at the Independence Square. A pension scheme for the private sector. Sri Lanka has achieved great success in the vaccination process. Health officials warn that there is a possible increase of COVID cases in the next few days. Data on the officials of the state institutions and their family members will be added to the e-Gramaniladari network. It is stressed that the aim of establishing community police service is to prevent the crimes before they happen. And in news overseas, UK Prime Minister weighs up bigger troop offer amid Russia border crisis. Those are the headlines, and now more to the details of the local news. The 74th Independence Day falls on next Friday. Independence Day celebrations will be held on the 4th of next month at the Independence Square. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and distinguished guests will participate in the ceremony. Foreign diplomats have also been invited to attend the ceremony. More than 6,000 members of the Triforces will participate in the parade. Religious observances and tree planting ceremonies have also been arranged in this regard. Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva says that discussions are being held with several parties to set up a pension scheme for the private sector employees. There are more than 3.5 million private sector employees in the country. Discussions are being held with representatives of the World Bank and the International Labour Organization in this regard. The health officials warn that there can be an increase of COVID-infected persons in the next few days. The Omicron virus is currently fast spreading in the country, and at present, reporting of daily infected patients has increased. The health sector requests that the people to avoid unnecessary travelling and follow the health guidelines. Meanwhile, 982 corona-infected persons have been identified yesterday. The Director General of Health Services has confirmed another 14 coronavirus-related deaths for January 28th, pushing the country's death toll due to the virus to 15,400. This includes 10 males and 4 females, while 2 patients are between the ages 30 to 59 and the rest are in the age group of 60 years and above. Dr. Chandima Jivendra, Director of the Allergy, Immunology, Cell Biology Unit of the Faculty of Medicine, said that 82 Omicron-infected persons have been identified. This is the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And we continue with more local news. The data on the officials of the state institutions and their family members will be added to the e-Gramaniladari network. The aim of this program is to develop the infrastructure and the human resources needed to prepare a data network for the convenience of collecting data for the services provided by the Grama Seva officials. The program is being implemented by the State Ministry of Home Affairs. A software named EPN has been introduced in this regard. Senior police spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana says that the aim of establishing community police service is to prevent the crimes before they happen. He also pointed out that Japan and Singapore have become countries of lowest crime in the world by implementing community police service efficiently. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. The 74th Independence Day celebrations will be held on the 4th of next month at the Independence Square. A pension scheme for the private sector. Sri Lanka has achieved great success in the vaccination process. Health officials warn that there are possible increase of COVID cases in the next few days. The data on the officials of the state institutions and their family members will be added to the e-Gramaniladari network. It is stressed that the aim of establishing community police service is to prevent the crimes before they happen. And that was the local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The main news story for this morning, Minister K.L. Rambukwala says that the country could be brought to a better place due to the far-sighted program initiated by the President in the face of corona pandemic. The priority has been given for the vaccination program for the safety and the better health of the people. Due to this reason, the corona death toll and the corona-infected persons could be minimized. He made these remarks at a ceremony held to mark the one-year completion of the vaccination program yesterday at the Ministry of Health. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sidhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And in Watchlight this morning, it has been reported that the road from Ambahena Varapitiya across Mulkirigala, Katuwana, Karamandiya is in a dilapidated condition. People who are travelling along this road are facing many difficulties. They request the relevant authorities to renovate the road soon. This is for the attention of the Road Development Authority. And that came to you in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Headlines of the world news. UK Prime Minister weighs up bigger troop offer amid Russia border crisis. US East Coast blanketed by bombogenesis snowstorm. Democratic Republic of Congo issues death sentences for murderers of UN experts. Those were the headlines, and now we move on to the details of the world news. The UK is considering offering to double its number of troops deployed in Eastern Europe as ministers weigh up options to increase pressure on Russia amid heightened tensions over Ukraine. Prime Minister Boris Johnson said the possible deployment would send a clear message to the Kremlin. The defense and foreign secretaries are preparing to meet their counterparts in Moscow to encourage de-escalation. Mr. Johnson will phone Russian President Vladimir Putin in the coming days. The Prime Minister, who will also visit Eastern Europe this week, said the UK would not tolerate Russian destabilizing activity and we will always stand with our NATO allies. The US East Coast has been battered by the first major blizzard to hit the region in 4 years. 5 states declared an emergency hours before heavy snow and hurricane-force winds blasted the area. Experts warn of historic snowfall in some places and flood warnings have been issued near the coast. More than 5,000 US flights have been cancelled. As the storm arrived, more than 116,000 households across Massachusetts were without power. Forecasters say that there is a chance that the storm, known as Nor'easter, will blanket the Boston area with up to 2 feet of snow, and up to 1 feet of snow has already fallen in parts of New York. The current record of 70 centimeters within 24 hours was set in the year 2003. Dozens of militia members have been sentenced to death in the Democratic Republic of Congo for their involvement in the murder of 2 UN experts. Swedish Chilean Zaida Catalan and American Michael Sharp were abducted and killed in the Kasai region in the year 2017. There were investigations alleged mass graves after fighting broke between the government forces and the militia group. Their interpreter, B2 Shentela, was also killed. Their bodies were found 16 days after being kidnapped. Catalan has been beheaded. The UN was shocked by the murders, and at the time, and Secretary General Antonio Guterres said the organization would do everything possible to ensure that justice is done. And to conclude the world news, the headlines once again. UK Prime Minister weighs up bigger troop offer amid Russia border crisis. US East Coast blanketed by bombogenesis snowstorm. Democratic Republic Congo issues death sentences for murderers of UN experts. And that was the world news.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take coal out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
In development news, State Minister of Samurdhi, Household Economy, Microfinance, Self-Employment and Business Development, Shehan Semasinghe said that island-wide program will be launched on February 3rd to directly pump 85 billion rupees for infrastructure and livelihood programs countrywide, which will directly be monitored by the district secretariats. Of this 85 billion rupees, over 40% is mandatorily to be used on livelihood programs. He said that this program will directly pump 85 billion rupees apart from the projects that other state ministries are conducting at present. State Minister Sema Singh added that another 15 billion rupees will be allocated for 15,000 women entrepreneurs in villages, including at least one in every Grama Niladhara division. And that came to you in the segment of Development News.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Moving on to sports news, Moeen Ali produced a remarkable all-round display to lead England to victory in the fourth T20 in Barbados. Standing captain Moeen struck a brutal 63 from 28 balls as England posed an imposing 193 for 6. The all-rounder then took 2 for 28 in the West Indies reply as the hosts fell 34 runs short. The series is perfectly poised at 2-2 with a final game to be played at the same venue today. Having lost the toss, England started steadily on a slow pitch before Jason Roy capitalised on some loose West Indies bowling. Roy hit 3 sixers in his 52, a fine effort from the opener despite looking out of sorts for much of his innings. That was the sports news. Business news coming up.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
In business news, Apple sales soared in the key Christmas shopping season despite constraints due to a global shortage of microchips. Sales at the iPhone giant rose 11% to a record $123.9 billion in the October to December period, beating forecasts. Shares jumped more than 4% in the after hours of trade as the report suggested that the firm's pandemic boom is continuing. Apple has seen purchases skyrocket during the pandemic as people spend more time online. The firm's market value briefly hit the $3 trillion milestone in early January, though its share price has slipped most recently amid weeks of market turmoil. That was the business news. Economic news follows.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
And in economic news, the treasury bills valued at 88 billion rupees will be issued. The relevant auction will be held on the 2nd of next month. The central bank said that these bills will be issued maturing on 91, 182 and 364 days. Biddings are being called from the primary dealers on government securities. That was economic news, and with the report to conclude.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Weather Report.
And finally, the weather report. A few showers will occur in the northern, north central, eastern and Nuwa provinces and the Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the Sabaragamuwa province and in the Kaluthara, Galle, Mathura districts during the evening or night. And before we conclude this bulletin of news, let's get back to the headlines once again. The 74th Independence Day celebrations will be held on the 4th of next month at the Independence Square, a pension scheme for the private sector. Sri Lanka has achieved great success in the vaccination process. Health officials warn that there are possible increases of COVID cases in the next few days. The data on the officials of the state institutions and their family members will be added to the e-Gramaniladari network. It is stressed that the aim of establishing community police service is to prevent the crimes before they happen. And in news overseas, UK Prime Minister weighs up bigger troop offer amid Russian border crisis. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news.